Hey everybody, here's another garden update. How's the garden doing so far? Well, it's getting towards the end of September, and that means the temperatures are in the 80s during the day and in the 60s at night. So it's like a light switch here in Texas. As soon as September hits, it's boom boom. We go from hot to cool. Now, some updates here. This is fava beans. I planted fava beans and now they're starting to come up. It only took about a week. Of course, the squirrels are hiding their nuts and stuff, and they're digging back in my garden bed, so you can see these divots. But they haven't created enough havoc to stop my fava beans from getting bigger. So I like this. That's great. I've never grown fava beans before. They like cool weather, and so I put them in the ground and we'll see what happens. Bought the seeds online. Over here, well, let's start over here. We've got tomatoes, and they're starting to get big. Look at this. Big tomatoes. I'm glad to see the transplants have taken root, and they're getting bigger, and then we'll trellis them up. We have 2 zucchini plants back there, and they seem to be doing fine. As well as these rogue plants. Boy, oh boy, I tell you. You know, you put this thick mulch down, and the damn weeds, I have to come out here and weed, come right up. So you always got to stay on top of the damn weeding. But it looks like there's rogue cucumber plants and whatnot. You know, if one of your cucumbers gets eaten by an animal or falls and gets in the ground, look out. You're going to get volunteer plants, which is fun to kind of see what grows. Now, just looking back here, the blackberries are starting to die back, go into their dormancy phase. I've got some rogue pepper plants back here that I've just kind of let go. The sweet potatoes are doing good back there. The raspberries, again, my unkept raspberry bush. Look at this. They're starting to get some red raspberries here. And like I say, I'm going to trellis them up over the fall. I'm going to have a nicer setup. And I thought they were all supposed to be red, or all supposed to be yellow Queen Anne's, but some red ones got mixed in here. But anyways, raspberries. As upkept as I've, mismanaged my raspberries, they are producing raspberries, which is nice to see. And they're sweet and tasty. Now back here, other things are coming up. The cardoons are right here. But in this bin, I put 2 cantaloupe plants. And I'm going to see if they're going to grow fast enough with the remainder of the season that we have. They like hot weather. They can withstand the hot temperatures. But can they do good in cooler temperatures? And do we have enough growing season until November when we get our frost? We'll see. Cucumbers. We got cucumbers popping up here. All up and down the row. You can see cucumbers. This one didn't get as many seeds popping up. And I also noticed that on the back of the leaves, I'll show you, this was kind of curly, and that's what drew my attention. There was little black seeds, bugs, are starting, the cool weather, thus comes the bugs. And so they started to eat the leaves and start to stunt the growth. So what I did is I came out and I sprayed to get rid of that before it takes over. Cucumbers here, although again some of the early plants weren't doing so well. The volunteers, of course, they come up everywhere. And as I move around, we have the tomatoes here doing good on both sides. They get enough sun and definitely enough water. And the peas and snap peas and snow peas are growing up just perfectly. And then, like I say, you have to come in, and every once in a while you see a weed in your mulch. Pull it up. Pull it up. And my eggplant over here that I transplanted from the containers. So everything looks to be growing here okay as well. And like I say, I'll come through and I might have to thin some of these out too. But lots of volunteer plants from the seeds of the previous planting. Over here, you can see that my fig tree has little figs maturing here, which is great to see. This tree was transplanted at the end of last year, and now it's definitely taken root, and we have figs for the first time. I tried growing in the container, but it really wants to be in the ground, so I put it there. And then this is a volunteer tomato plant. I don't know how this got over here. Well, I mean, somebody must have ate a tomato and dropped the seed here, but hey, it's growing, and looks like it's growing healthy. So yeah, I'm gonna let it grow. It gets a fair amount of sun. The plants here doing well, cooler weather. So yeah, everything seems to be growing well, but we're gonna be transitioning from a summer garden to a fall garden. We're gonna see what we can grow here in the fall months. Things like beans and root vegetables. I'll be putting some radishes and things like that down in the ground in some of the empty areas, and that'll be fun too, to see how they can grow. Usually they can withstand a lot of the cooler weather, and again, we don't get too cold here. We don't really get freezing weather so much in Texas, and it doesn't last very long anyways. So we're going to try to grow stuff as all the other plants. The melons here are done. I'm going to pull all that, but we can see that the Gojis are very strong. They shared the space this year with the melons, and we just have to trellis them up a little bit, as this long branch is very spindly. I might have to cut it back a little bit, but you can see goji berries right here. Look at that. Right here, look at that. So the goji berries start to make goji berries now here in the fall, and like I say, I'll clean this up with the dead melon leaves because they're really about done, but the gojis they're surviving, doing well. So that's a fun thing too. You can see all these flowers here. That's a future goji berry, little goji berries on there. So they kind of had a symbiotic relationship, I think, this year between the gojis and the melons. Anyways, that's a quick garden update here in our nice cooler fall weather. Hopefully your garden's doing well and you're preparing for the fall as well. Talk to you later.